Hello, hello, my green skins, and welcome to another Orc War Chief review. And today we're going to be doing a classic, a Don Bluth classic, Secret of Nimh. Probably one of his best movies, and that's saying something because Don Bluth has quite a few classic movies, and I would say if you counted Dragon Slayer in there, you'd have a huge collection. And what else can I say about this movie other than the fact that, yeah, no, this is well done. And I absolutely like this one. How much do I like it? Well, let's break it down with the voice acting. So, the voice acting in this is solid all the way through, except for Dom DeLuise and Will Wheaton. And it's not Dom DeLuise's fault. Dom DeLuise plays Dom DeLuise. That's my only problem. Everybody else, like, it's not his fault in a lot of ways. It's because I see Dom DeLuise whenever Dom DeLuise does a voice role. He's been in so much stuff, especially in the early 80s and 90s. He was a mainstay. And he did a lot of kid show stuff and a lot of kid acting. You hear that? You know that sound? I know that laugh, that, giggly attitude. He plays a great character in this as the Crow, but it's that problem with me, and that's my only gripe. Otherwise, Elizabeth Hartman as Mrs. Brigsby, amazing. And everyone else hits their notes. And, I'm only shitting on Will Wheaton because, it's Will Wheaton. Sean Wesley. No, I even him, he didn't do a bad job. But again, the child characters did a good job. This was well done. I'm not solid all the way through. And I hate to say it, that, like, a lot of people are like, well, you should talk about the other voices. I'm like, no. Like, literally, Elizabeth Hartman as Mrs. Brigsby, she is the mainstay on this. And this is her story. And that's going to be one of the big things about when I talk about the story in this. This is Mrs. Brigsby's story. And the voice acting did a great job. And with everything else that came with this, the voice acting is definitely the icing on this beautiful, beautiful cake. So, what can I say about the story? I got a little kind of a side thing I got to say before we get to the story. Mrs. Brigsby should be, when people say, oh, there are no no powerful females. Yeah, Mrs. Brigsby. Oh, it's an animated character, so no, fuck you. Totally and utterly. And this is her story. This is the story of a mother doing what she needs to do to protect her family and one of her sick children. She doesn't want to leave him behind. In all intents and purposes, she could leave her poor sick son behind and save her other kids. She has 3 other kids to worry about. She's like, fuck that. I'm going to do what I need to do to protect my children. And she goes on an epic quest, which unfortunately has a lot of bad cuts. Okay, that is my only problem with this story. There's a lot of times where I'm like, fast cut. But other than that, she is questing to do what she needs to do. And she goes on an adventure. She meets the little representation of their version of death. I still think that's the version of death, who is in the Great Owl. She fights to keep her child alive. And she also protects others. Like, she doesn't have to help a stupid crow when there's a bunch, she could have just said, okay, we'll see you, bye. No, she did what she had to. And in a way, Mrs. Brigsby also inspires other people. And that's what makes this character amazing in this story. Is it a perfect story? No, in a lot of ways, there are moments in this story that are bad. And there are moments where it's like, well, out of nowhere political drama. But this story, without trying to spoil too much, I just gotta say, Mrs. Brigsby, this is her tale, and her tale of courage. And she does fight for everything. And in a way, it helps her. In a way, it pays off for her. But, I mean, if she didn't throw herself into this, and there was many times she didn't think she was going to survive, and she still did what she had to do. She was terrified, and she ran, but she was still strong enough to stand up for what she needs. I respect that. And I like the character. And the character created a good story. I think this story is almost perfect in a lot of ways, but it does have its problems. And then what adds to this beautiful cake that we're creating right now, let's talk about the animation. I think the fact that we have the style of art that's kind of popping up around recently, I think we lose something, because I think this is beautiful, by the way. Don Bluth knocked it out of the park. And I mean, he does some great jobs later on, and he really does just bam, bam, a lot of bangers in the 80s. I think art style in this is beautiful. It's not absolutely perfect, but it is really well done. And there are a lot of moments in this animation that just fucking phenomenal. And some of the scene work is really well done. Again, my biggest problem is, like I said, there are some sharp cuts. And I get what they were trying to do, but that didn't always work. And they did a lot of little combinations of styles with the art. Phenomenal art style in this movie. And I wish I could actually show some of this without being completely annihilated on YouTube. They really surprised me with this one, and it still holds up today. And that's what makes it amazing. And again, as we're adding more to this amazing cake we're creating with this beautiful movie, let's get to music. I'm going to stop with the cake metaphors. Music is well done. Very well done. For the time, probably the best. And what is it with music in this era? Like, this kind of an aside. There is so much good music. And so much iconic music in this era. And Secret of NIMH is really well done. Phenomenal. And that just floors me that I look at what comes out now, and if it isn't from Japan, America's got to get back to it. I hate to say it, America really's got to get back to this beautiful, beautiful music and art style. This was so well done. Absolutely enjoyed. And I guess we're going to ratings next. You know, the sad thing about doing great movies like this, I either have a lot to say, or I have very little to say and just go fucking watch the movie. Go watch the movie. Go watch it. Okay, first off, this is a well done movie. And like, hit it out of the park, Don Bluth. And he really did. And this is that time frame where I'm just like, damn. So beautiful. So well done. The art style is amazing. And the more I think about stuff, the more I want to add more to this. But the truth is, timeless would be the best way to put this. This movie is freaking timeless. And I really do hate that, you know, live action stuff. People love that live action, but they don't want to ever look at this other stuff. And I really do believe that sometimes we really don't take these movies as seriously as we should. Animated movies can be phenomenal. So my rating for this is a 9. it's almost perfect in a lot of ways. Like, again, there are some issues, but they're very few and far between. And this is definitely for kids. Like, I would even go as saying 6 upward. Like, I didn't think I'd like this movie. Like, I was like, oh, I saw it years ago. I haven't seen it in a long time. And, I popped it in, and I felt like I was sitting on my floor eating frickin' Cheerios watching this. I kind of brought me back. And I was able to not only enjoy it and equally enjoy it as I did as a kid as I do as an adult. Can't say the same for every movie that I've seen that's done that. Fern Gully is a good example where I'm like, I remember liking this when I was a kid. I don't remember liking this so much as an adult. And I think they did a great job. I had a blast. And yeah, best way to put it. I absolutely enjoyed it. And I hope you guys enjoy this movie too. Go watch this movie. This is something you should be showing your kids. This is something that I think is a lot better than what's on a lot of streaming services right now. And not perfect, but still really, really good. I'd like to thank everybody who listened to me rant about a great movie and talk about cake a lot. I don't know. Haven't had cake in a long time. I don't know why that was rolling in my head. Please like, sub, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next Orc War Chief Reviews. See ya.